So, yep, I just went to go and see A Quiet Place Part 2. Yeah, again, another film that has taken quite a while to come out due to the pandemic. Obviously it got delayed when everything went into lockdown. Again, was this film worth the wait for me? Yeah, it really was. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a great sequel to A Quiet Place. It was cool to see the flashback to day one, which was quite interesting. With the seeing the asteroids coming in, so kind of basically tells us that these things are aliens, I guess, these monsters. So yeah, so that's cool. Like I say, I don't want to give away too many spoilers or anything like that, but it does. I will say this about the end of the film. It does end on a what's going to happen next note. Yeah, so there is blatantly room open here for a third film, which I have heard is definitely going to get made, but we are not going to get John Krasinski, sorry. Is it Krasinski? Krasinski? I'm not too sure I pronounced that. Sorry, John. But yeah, he's not going to be returning for the sequel. So yeah, he's just going to write it, I think. I don't think he's going to direct. I'm wondering if that might be because he's got a certain Marvel contract that he's probably going to be working on at that time. Fantastic Four much? It'd be nice to see him as Mr. Fantastic. So anyway, okay, yeah, so this film, obviously, if you've seen A Quiet Place, if you haven't, here's a spoiler for the first film. John Krasinski's character Lee does not survive the first film. But we get to see him in this film in the flashback to day one, when the incident starts. So our main character this time around, obviously we're following his wife still, played by Emily Blunt, and the three kids that are left now because of the baby, because obviously, spoiler again for the first film, the youngest son doesn't survive. He gets killed pretty quick into the first film, to be fair. But then they have the baby in the first film, and so this is a direct continuation from that point, literally where the first film left off. And we are introduced to a new character in the form of Cillian Murphy, who was an old friend of the family, and he is he's surviving, and they obviously now have the weapon for trying to defeat the creatures in the form of the frequency used via the girl's hearing aid. So that was cool to see them implement that and use it. And like I say, we learned a bit more about the creatures as well, the aliens. I'm going to call them aliens because it seems like they are aliens. But yeah, we find out something new about them. Obviously, we know that they're sensitive to sound. Yep, because that's how they hunt. And that frequency can hurt them. But also we learn that they have difficulty in water as well. So they can't swim. I mean, if you look at their makeup and how their bodies are and stuff like that, yeah, you can see why they can't swim. They don't really have the arms and hands for it and stuff like that. There's no webbing to it at all, and they've got three things. Not very good for paddling, you know what I mean? And I can imagine they're quite heavy as well, so yeah. But that's the science behind those creatures. But you know, they're still quite mysterious, which I liked. I liked that they kept an element of mystery to the monsters. But like I say, we got introduced to some more survivors, and we also got to see what the difference is between people, what happens after this apocalypse. Because obviously we're like 400 and some odd days into it. By this point, after the incident, and yeah, certain people have gone a bit feral, and are like, you know, reverting back to being really harsh people, a bit like tribal almost. So we get to see that briefly, although it isn't played on too much. It's only really the one scene we get to see that happen before. But then obviously there's other survivors as well who aren't bad, who are good, and yeah, so we get to see some of those as well. But one thing I will say about this film that I really enjoyed, I thought was quite good, was that in the first, parents were kind of like the main characters that we were following. We were following Emily Blunt and John Krasinski's characters mainly through their point of view, whereas this film is more about the kids, which I thought was good. The kids are more the main protagonists in this one. Emily Blunt kind of feels almost like a bit of a side character to the kids, and so does Cillian Murphy as well. His character feels like a bit of a side character to the kids, which I didn't mind, because again, these kids are great actors, like really good job, and especially the main girl, like I say, who's actually a deaf girl as well, like, which I find really, really cool, that they use a lot of American Sign Language in the film, and obviously, it's good to learn these things, like, 'cause sign language is quite fascinating. But yeah, otherwise, what else would I say about this film? I'd say I'm wondering how they're gonna go with this third film now. Again, Buddy making loads of noise behind me. I love this dog. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make predictions on it, because the way it ends, it's like they could go anywhere really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we get to see that in the next year or two. Like I say, I know it's in the works, and I know that John Krasinski's not going to be directing it, but I don't know if they've announced the director yet. Maybe they might have done. But yeah, it's going to be good to see where this story goes, and hopefully if we get to see them in the third film figuring out how they're going to, like, absolutely defeat these things, like, and maybe even give us a bit more of an insight into what these creatures are. I mean, like I say, from the way that they set it up in this film, with it feels like they are definitely aliens, because, like, I mean, in the first film, I wasn't sure if they were aliens, if they were like maybe something to do biblical, you know what I mean, like apocalyptic, like demon sort of things. But no, this film kind of makes it obvious that they are aliens, really, like, with the fact that they come down on asteroids and stuff like that. Yeah, the tension in this film, yeah, there was a lot of tension. Some really good jump scares. Yeah, we'll catch you, which is good. So the action scenes, when we get them, are very intense. I mean, like, these creatures are brutal, like, you know what I mean. If you've seen the first film and how they kill people and stuff, I mean, the big claws and stuff, and they're just slamming people out of the way and everything like that, which is quite cool to see, like, very visceral. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's a good sequel. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I would say that, I wouldn't say it's as good as the first film, like I say, I think, because the first film is quite unique, but this is definitely a worthy follow-up. Yeah, definitely a worthy follow-up. So, I mean, I know it's in America, you can watch it via streaming services already. Here in the UK, it's probably going to be on the cinema for maybe another week or two, so if you've got the time to catch it, I recommend it. Go and catch it if you've seen the first film anyway. Like, if you're going to watch this film, make sure you've seen the first film, trust me, okay? There's no end credit scenes or anything like that to worry about, so don't worry about sticking around unless you are a decent cinema goer and you like to sit through the credits and, watch all the people who were involved in making the film, which is a good thing to do, so respect, of course. So yeah, what am I going to give this out of stars? I am going to give this, I'll give it, again, 4 stars. Yeah, I'll give it a 4-star, this film, because it's really... No, actually, you know what? 3.5 stars. Yeah, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it's definitely a very, very, very good film. So yeah, another 3.5-star film. There we go. So yeah, I recommend checking it out if you get the chance. Again, solid performances all round. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good little horror film. Good horror sequel too. So yeah, that's my review. So yeah, thanks for sticking around and watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do a little plug for Karaoke Geeks again, because I am producer for that show on Latino Slant. I'm going to be on Latino Slant a bit later on today, actually, talking about Karaoke Geeks, and we're going to be discussing some of the great charity work that Paulie's been doing through the channel, and the money that's been raised. I'm getting messages coming through on my phone. I should have put it on silent. So I'm going to stick a card up now here. Bing! So click on that. Head over to Paulie's channel, hit subscribe, and stay up to date with all the great content coming from Latino Slant. Like I say, Paulie produces some great stuff. It's a great community as well to be part of. I recommend becoming a member, because Paulie does spoil the members. Like, I mean, we have live music going on. He has like interviews with filmmakers and actors, and we have watch-alongs with filmmakers and stuff. It's great, and he's got some new stuff as well. Some new more history-based stuff about the Maya and stuff like that, which is fascinating. So I really recommend heading over to Paulie's channel, hit subscribe. If you have to come and join us then as well on Friday nights for Karaoke Geeks, which is always a good laugh. So that's enough of that, plugging that. As for me, like I say, I'll have more stuff coming, so please hit that subscribe button. I love you all. Like I say, the subscribers, I'm a quarter of the way to my 1,000 mark, which would be really nice. I mean, when I hit 500, I might do like a 500 subscriber celebratory stream, which would be fun. So yeah, but anyway, again, I've got lots of stuff planned and stuff to come. It's just finding the time to do it at the moment, because I'm a very busy person. Life of a freelancer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're all looking after yourselves, staying sane, staying happy, staying healthy, and just full of peace and love. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking again. Peace and love. Bye.